Bow time.
It's bow time.
Absolutely bow time. Except it's not quite bow time. It's bow time in another couple months when he beats up another scrub that we all know he's going to beat up. But we've got to see it before we know he belongs in the UFC. Because Dana makes good business decisions.
Whoever opened that line at Bet Online at -300 needs to be fired.
I mean,
they're just washing the money, man.
I guess so. I mean, they got to get rid of that Bitcoin somehow.
You probably had every dude on bet tips with a -300 on Bo Nickal, and it was there for like 30 seconds, and there was maybe 5 guys that got down that 250 on that shit. And
it was 500.
Oh, 500. Well,
yeah.
There was maybe 5-10 people that got that, and it was gone. That shit moves so fast.
There has
never been a price that has changed that much for a UFC / Dana White Contender Series fighter. That is gotta be the biggest move.
It's the worst opener that maybe ever seen. Like,
ever.
Whoever made that line for Mason over there should not be made. Now, they've been bad for the past, year and a half or so when Dimes kind of went off the map and Bet Online started doing their own openers. They ain't been good. They have not been doing good over there, but that's as bad as an opener as you'll ever see.
How rude is Mason? Piggybacking my work for years, and then I stop, and he won't even give me some Bitcoin back. He's just gotta take that guy. My goodness.
I think the whole I guess we could talk about Bo real quick.
Absolutely. More important than the shit last week.
Probably the best MMA pure MMA prospect that we've seen maybe in 10, 15 years. I mean,
I would say since Pico.
Yeah, I think it's probably even maybe bigger than Pico.
It was pretty good. It was pretty big when he made that debut. That
Pico,
was
Pico had
he
had AKA behind him too, so that was like it was a really big debut. We talked about kind of comparing him to Pico last night too, and like hoping that he doesn't do an early Pico and fall in love with those hands and stuff, but he didn't last night, and
nope.
I get what they're doing. Like, I think that whole thing was already pre-planned. He's not on a 10-10 Contender Series contract. He's probably getting like 50 and 50, 25 and 20 something, and it's probably a couple fights. They were like, we'll get you a couple fights in the next month. We know you're gonna fucking wreck this guy. You're not gonna take. Still, man, to come out and perform like that and get it done, be smart, wrestle,
get it done, Wes.
Man,
after
2 seconds.
That's tough.
After the first 60, it didn't
tough.
count. Doesn't even count. That's why I need to see him again.
That's real tough to lose that, man. To lose that by 1 second, man. You were on that. That was a good play, man, because he wrecked old boy. He did what he was supposed to do, but I like how he talked afterwards. Like, I'm a wrestler. I'm gonna take you down. Yep. I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna choke you out. That's what I want to hear. There's rumors. A lot of talk out of the gym he's been in that he's hurting guys on the feet. His hands are tremendous. Got power. I like to hear what I heard though. Like, I know,
but I honestly think he grappled because he knew he was coming back later this season on Contender Series, and he's like, point. I'm not gonna break my hand punching this guy's jaw. I'm gonna strangle him in 62 seconds and grapple him, so then I don't have to worry. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we see his striking in the next fight, even if he could just toss the guy around.
I will say, like, Dana's a buffoon. We know that. I just hate how Dana last week talks like, I bring people on here that I'm ready to sign off this show when they're ready. Bo Nickal goes out there and just demolishes some guy in 60 seconds. You're like, besides that, he needs to be in the UFC. His next fight needs to be in the UFC on a main card, choose his opponent wisely. he needs his name out there. Like, dude, nobody's really watching the Contender Series. It is hard of the hardcores that are turning on ESPN Plus to watch Tuesday night Contender Series. He could be fighting those level guys. Dude, right outside the top 10, top 15 dudes, he's wrecking tomorrow.
Wes, it gives them highlight reel footage for when he's actually in the UFC because he's only fought fucking one time.
I get all of it.
You can pay like $12 to Flow and get like all of his wrestling highlights. That's just as good.
Yeah. I get it. I know what they're doing. Like, we kind of all went off the rails last night. Like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, then we sat back and thought about it for about 10 minutes. It's like, yeah, I get what they're doing. It was
always going to be the plan.
It was predetermined. He was going to get a couple Contender Series main events a month apart, and then probably get his UFC debut at the end of the year. He's tremendous, man. That guy he could be a champion. He really could. The best base in MMA still to this day is fucking an unbelievable wrestler with crazy top game that can drop hammers on you and has crazy cardio. That's Bo Nickal. He is the prototype of that fighter, and it's still going to work in 2022, 2023. That guy could be champ at 185.
I'm just scrolling through the list of UFC middleweights right now. There's a couple guys that don't have fights. I think they'd be real stiff challenges for Bo, just prove if he belongs in the UFC. So we got Gilbert Urbina, because now Brian Battle's a legend, and this dude beat Brian Battle for a round, right?
Yep.
And then you got the Beverly Hills Ninja. Neither of those guys has a fight. So dangerous.
Man.
So could dangerous. You imagine? Like, those guys are right. Could you imagine? I know we was looking it up last night, some of the top 10 guys and shit. Oh, and shout out to the legend, the Calcutta fucking put the rat shit on you.
The rat shit.
Uriah Hall retiring from MMA. Shout out to the dude.
He bring real joy to this podcast for like basically one fight, and it was so worth it.
He gave us from his tough
lasted
run
for a while.
From his tough run to the end. I don't know if that guy was in a terrible fight, like ever. Like, it was highlight reel KOs or him getting his shit pushed in. It's fun run.
Anyway, UFC's dumb. They exploit fighters. I think the worst part of all this is the manager. That Malky's like, we got a plan, bro. Dana's paying me like $25K for every one of Bo's fights. Well, Bo gets 5 and 5. Yeah. It's okay, man. It's all planned out. MMA managers are terrible.
They would literally they would be arrested if they worked in other sports. Any other sport, they would be arrested for fraud, for having fucking inside conversations with owners and shit. That's how slimy MMA managers are. All of them. Disgusting stuff.
What a sport.
I mean, fuck, one's a former FBI informant and shit. Like, come on, he's on the terrorist watch list, bro.
Can't leave the States.
And
he's like
you can't
manager.
You can't trust them FBIs. They're going after Trump now, man.
Yeah, now I will say, if you gotta watch it, man. They plant evidence. They probably planted evidence and shit. I mean, they wouldn't let his lawyers in to see them doing their raid. So the
raid where they took things by force.
Yeah, the judge that signed the warrant, who's a fucking ex-Federalist Society Republican, he had to be crooked too. He's in the pockets of the Democrats and George Soros. It's all
I want to see what kind of bullshit they planted on him on that warrant. What excuse did they make it? Why won't he show us?
Fucking George Soros. It was the laser beams from fucking Turkey or whatever.
Chemtrails and shit.
They're wild. They're wild, bro. They're wild.
All right, let's go back and recap last week. We'll fly through this. Fun, I guess. Fun fights. They were all finishes. Yeah. It was all right. It was enjoyable for a bad card.
How many times did that? Somebody said it. There's only so many cards that's ever finished.
Only like the third time or something like that. Yeah. I'm sure one of our listeners knows. They're smarter than us. But anyway, it was all right for a bad card. Kicked it off in the women's bantamweight division. MBS got out the bone saw and just chopped off Bacon and Egger's arm. Beautiful stuff. 117 into round one. Anything, Sean, Wes?
Just weird. Weird how the whole shit went down. Never seen that before.
Yeah, I had a little fight inside at some nice plus money, and I was just hoping that some dumb shit like no contest or nothing like that happened. I was going to get really fucking pissed off. But yeah, a lot of people were confused, but they can, like, there are rules in the rule book to where the ref can ask judges around the cage if they saw the tap and shit like that. And I mean, I remember seeing that a while back. I don't think it happened in the UFC. It was another organization, but it can happen, and it did.
I know our dude Aaron Bronstetter did a good video about that because he's out here bragging about how he went to some judging conference
taking
lately.
the courses. And
Man's just doing too much judging tape study and shit now, man. It's just
Next fight, I did not see this one, but the little Hobbit girl beat Miranda Granger, Von Flue choke. Because it was
somehow pulled off a Von Flue, and
fight.
she has T-Rex arms. I don't know how that fucking works, but yeah.
Well, it's nothing. But if you can finally get those little ass arms connected, there's no space at all.
Right.
Yeah, you're done for.
Yeah, little more plus money inside the distance on this
just
fight.
Just crushing these fucking ladies' unders and insides, Wes.
We talked about it on last week's card. I think most of us said like we could see some finishes in these chick fights, and they actually happened.
Yep. Next one, we saw a finish coming in this one. Thought it was going to be a little bit better than that.
Smart people saw a finish. Other people saw a particular person finishing that did not.
I saw both. So where does that put me?
Well, you're in a better situation than I and Wes. That's for goddamn sure.
Fair.
Fucking
that's
Brian Battle.
That's kind of thanks to Lance. I'll actually give him credit on that one. He kind of talked you in on a winner there.
Yeah.
Wes, what are your thoughts on this?
I gotta eat it. I gotta fucking eat it. I was it's one of my worst ones ever.
You're gonna get a great price.
My bulb is back in the ground. Like I dug it up a little too soon. That guy, he ain't good, man. Like Sato just wasn't the guy. Props to Battle though, landing up insane head kick.
That's a wicked finish.
That was nice.
Yep.
Hell, that was beautiful, man. I mean, the dude looked kind of rough on the scales, but I will say fight night, that dude's never been in that kind of shape, like ever. Like hits physically, he looked really, really good. Give him that
because he's been fighting at 185, but he should be fighting at
170. I don't see the skills, man. He knocked out Sato. Props to him. I'm gonna get a huge price again next time, and it's gonna be one of those guys where I'm gonna be counting some dog money. Or I'm just gonna be really wrong again. I don't think I'll ever be this wrong again. Like I talked a lot of shit last week, and got to eat it, man. I was completely wrong. Props to
happens to the best of us, Wesley.
Yeah, absolutely. 185. Speaking of the best of us, a legend is snuffed out. I too soon. I say too soon. Sam Alvey, broken jaw, broken career, broken marriage, probably. I don't know. He got abused by the Candyman in there to absolutely nobody's surprise.
Yeah, that just had to get one more broken jaw and one more concussion before he could call it quits in the UFC. Just like
where he could walk away. Now he can stagger away.
I mean, is there any other like perfect exit for Sam Alvey than him getting obliterated in front of all of his kids sitting ringside? Like that's kind of like the perfect ending to Sam Alvey.
Was he smiling after when he called it?
I don't know if he was physically able to smile. Like his face was crushed, his nose was fucking crushed. Candy KO was sweet.
Fucked him up in a quick amount of time. He was not waiting.
He's got hands, dude.
He's got hands. That dude's got hands.
He's decent, man. That guy's he's not bad, man. Expect down at 185, man. On him.
Yeah.
The power, the power's carrying down a little. It is Sam Alvey. Sam Alvey take a punch from some dudes, though, and Candy licked that head up. I like Candy. Brad's been on that bandwagon for a long time. I like Candy.
He's got good skills. It's just now he's fighting closer to what his weight class should be. I mean, I think he'll still be able to get wrestled against good wrestlers. Lucky for him, 185 doesn't really have that. So until you get to the top.
Yeah, Jimmy said he could drop to 170, and he probably could.
You probably
should have to face wrestlers again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just stay at 85.
Yeah. Next up, 155. Terrence McKinney just keeps wrecking dudes. I didn't go on the other side here. I didn't think this was the spot, but much like Wes thinks with Battle, I think we're going to get a spot where we can hop off and make some money on somebody to finish T-Rex. Sean? He's
pretty good. His offense is good. Obviously, you're gonna have to have a guy that's durable, has some cardio, and he's got to survive because that offense is pretty damn good in the first couple minutes, and a lot of people can't take that. But if you can get a guy that can withstand it, like Dober did, and can come back with some heat, then you might have yourself a good fade then.
Yeah, I like him too, but you just kind of hit it right there. A dude that's got a chance of cardio and, can take that first barrage from him. Now, Drew Dober is probably close to the top of that list of dudes.
Yes.
So but there's other guys in that division that, maybe not to Dober's extent, but can do that type of stuff. So, I'm kind of with Brad too. I think there's some matchups out there where you're going to get a big price against him. But the kid is good. Like, his offense is ridiculous. The length, power, speed. I know he was calling out Patty. Like, that would be a murder scene. Like, that would literally be a murder scene. If I could get McKinney at, like, give me even money against Patty, like, it'd be one of my biggest bets ever. I'm not bullshitting. Like,
UFC is not that
absolutely. Yeah, and you would not get even money.
You wouldn't get even money. The UFC is I don't know. There's a lot of barstool fucking mouth breathers. Like, they would bet the shit out of Patty. Like, he'd get bet, but they're never ever serving Patty to fucking this dude. It's never happening.
No.
Would be fun. Any fight with McKinney is going to be fun. That's it's just who he is. Heavyweight division. We got some fatties there. And then we saw all we needed to see. So our boy Spivak just went ahead and finished off the sad belly. Sergey Spivak, sad belly. TKO, 342 of round 2. Sean?
Fatty got fatty, though.
Fatties did fatty. It got a little hairy there for a second, but yeah, that was domination by Spivak. He knew his best path to victory, and he used it, and it was pretty easy. He's good.
I was saying it, Saturday night, like, I think Spivak might actually be a really good fucking heavyweight at this point. Like, look around the division. There's just
it's terrible.
It's not much.
I'll tell you for sure that he beats the number 3 heavyweight in the world tomorrow.
I think he's good, bro. I
number
do.
3, Brad.
Tai Tuivasa.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah. He fucks
did
him
it
up
once, and he's better now than he was then. So
he's really, really good. He looked just all around improved everywhere. And I know it's...
Yeah, he's definitely been on the roids.
Yeah, his frame, he ain't never looked in that kind of shape. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I know it's Sakai, but that was a great performance from our boy Sergey. Fatty's got there. Yeah, might actually have a decent heavyweight. We'll see.
I think Spivak is like he's kind of like White Blades. Just like a little bit less athletic, not quite as good a wrestler.
Hands maybe a little better though. Wrestling not as good. Hands maybe a little better.
Yeah.
He's
decent comparison.
He's decent, man. He's not bad.
He's gonna win a lot more fights at heavyweight, that's for sure.
Yep.
Women's tough flyweight, and Wes, you and Lance, you let me down on this one. You told me to go with the sub. You should have just told me to go inside. Sean, you're the only smart one, but you also didn't tell me, so
yeah,
I hate all.
I'm a dick.
I added some inside the distance before the fight.
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad I did.
Me.
Yeah, I was talking to Brad about this before the podcast. I'm just like, when you're looking for these longer shot, plus 400s, plus 600s, if it's a grappler that you're betting on, and you only take sub, that is not a good choice, especially at the lower levels. Like, it doesn't take much to switch from grappling domination to throwing a couple punches and that's it. So when inside was like 400, 425 or whatever it was, you got to take that, even if you're going to sprinkle sub as well.
Yeah, I usually never take like specific method over just inside the distance if it's anywhere close. I did take sub pre-fight. I had some money line too. Glad I added a little inside the distance before the fight. It was still like around plus 400 or something like that. Yeah, I mean, these chicks they're not good, man. They're not good at all.
She's relentless.
Some of the Brogan like stuff I was seeing on Twitter Saturday though was kind of wild. Like people were acting like she was like so much better. I don't know, man. Like neither one of these chicks are good. But if you watched any of Tough, you know who the better chick was. And like Miller had that fucking sub locked up at that one point, and I'm over like, man, we got it. We all got it. Like it was, but it's still, that's how terrible that she couldn't even finish.
Couldn't finish it.
Yeah, like shit that's completely locked in. Couldn't even finish it. So both are not very good though.
Yep, like she'll probably win a bunch of fights just because she's willing to come forward and she can grapple a bit. But I don't think. I mean, Juliana Pena basically got to the title by being tough and being able to walk forward. So.
I think you could make some of those split decision bets on some of Miller's fights coming up. Like she's going to be in some scraps where it's going to be close and they're going to go to 15 minutes and you get some split.
Who knows?
I always like me a good split decision prop. The heavyweight tough championship. Mohammed Usman. Nothing really happened. I mean, Pogo's winning the fight because
he's a bum.
Wes, take it away.
This Usman's a bum, bro. He was getting his shit like it wasn't even close. And what's so wild is they come out in the first second, and he throws this little baby jab that knocks the dude out. Like the dude, the whole first he was just laughing at this dude's punches. Like Usman has zero technique. He's 265 pounds with no power. It was fucking hilarious. Like
he's got a little bit of power.
A little bit of power.
That had nothing to do with power. I don't know what that was. The dude's chin literally just shut off for some reason. He took every punch. Dude's throwing big haymakers and hitting him in that big ass fucking island skull. All the first round, never fucking hurt him, never dazed him. Puga's just fucking boxing his head and walks out in the second. And I swear that dude literally throws a little like baby fucking hook jab and knocks him clean out. What are you going to do with that? This Usman's a bum. He's a massive fade and I'm going to get him. I'm going to fucking get him. Next time, I'm not going to be dropping fucking juice because they think he's good now. They think he's got the shoot
because of his power.
Because he's got this power. They think he's got this power. Well, I'm going to get him. I'm going to fucking get him. He's a bum.
I don't know if you're going to get him at a decent number because even with this, he lost the first round.
He's terrible.
He's terrible. Not good. But, Wes, this is tough. heavyweights, big underdog. What did you expect to happen?
I fucked up.
I told you the story last week. Told you I didn't need to watch this shit. That's just how it goes on Tough. You know this. You know it.
Yep.
I fucked up.
Co-main event. I think we all kind of lost our asses on this one.
Yeah.
Jeff Neal looked great. Every time he threw that left hand, it was money, and eventually he landed enough of them that it got Luque out of there. Looked like Luque was gonna come back through the second round, and Neal just turned it back up. So, man, good performance from him.
That was old Jeff Neal. That was what we kind of thought he could be. He's got a great chin, and he's got good hands when he throws them. And he was on Saturday. That was great. Yeah. I don't know what to think of Luque. I don't know if he's just like, this is two pretty bad performances in a row. And I mean, he obviously has been fighting. They are good guys that he's fought, but that chin obviously is going to catch up to him. He's always been hittable, and he's got away with it against lesser guys. It's not going to happen, and that downfall might be rough to watch, which sucks because he's always fun to watch because he's usually in awesome fights. So, yeah, props to Jeff Neal.
Yeah, Jeff Neal looked amazing in that fight. Even after a rough kind of second, to come out in the third and put that on. We'll talk about Luque though, man, because he's always been hittable, but he's had to have been one of the most durable fucking guys that we've seen over the past 6 or 7 years. Like, never out of a fight and stuff, but when you're getting hit by power like Jeff Neal carries, you're just not going to be able to fight that kind of fight, man. I wish Luque would have tried to grapple a little more. Would have tried to maybe get a hold of him and get some takedowns. But I mean,
he's never done that.
Yeah, Neal's takedown defense is incredible. Just a really, really good all around fighter. Thought he had some problems with some health a while back, and I'm just not sure. I think it took him a couple years to really fully come back from that stuff, and he looks fully back, man. And that dude's really fucking good with hands like that, with power like that. I think he's a problem in that division. It's sad to see Luque, man. We even talked about on the show when we was picking Luque that, we said he could get hit and it could go at any time. I don't think it went. He's always gotten a little like buzz from big shots. Neal throws hammers. Like Luque's defense has never been there. It's still not there. He took a lot of hammers to get out of there, man. Like, but that was another pretty bad beating. The downfall is going to be bad, like Sean said. It's going to suck because I think we're going to look back at Luque as one of the most skilled dudes that we've seen that just had not enough defense, not enough striking defense to where it could have put him in that next echelon of title contender. And that's what we're going to remember about Luque. Great fighter, great fights, just got hit a little too much to be a serious title contender. And I think we're going to get a few more really good fights. There's still great matchups out there for him. He can beat a lot of these guys. Just don't think he's
very close to winning this fight.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Like, it goes one way or the other. Like, Luque gets into a couple scrambles. It could have went different. Didn't Jeff Neal perform? We're still going to see, I think, Luque decent for a little bit, but he can't take too many more Jeff Neal beatings. That's just It's going to be bad.
No, I think, Sean, like you both kind of nailed it. Luque, he gets hit a lot, but I don't think that there's a lot of guys that kind of can replicate 3 rounds of Jeff Neal landing massive left hands on him. So I think he's still going to be okay. He's still going to win a bunch of fights, but we know he's never going to be that elite tier of guy. He's always going to be in that like Cerrone range. That's it feels like a decent comparison. Anyway, main event. Jamal Hill. It's nice to see fewer people calling him Jamahal. It's because that was embarrassing for those people, and I'm glad that most of them have stopped.
Do they not realize that and this is not no slight, that that black people like to spell their names a little different than most other people?
I guess they don't pay much attention to the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, they like to do the different names, man. Spell the sounds different. It's cool. Keeps you original. I like it.
Ladanian.
Yeah,
greatest name ever.
Yeah, no doubt.
Incredible name.
There's a lot.
Anyway, he kind of went through it in this fight. He had to face a little bit of maybe kind of sort of adversity. I mean, Thiago Santos wasn't really putting any damage on him, but
he went D1. He went D1 Santos. So
yeah,
it was wild.
It's more like D1 ago or D. Nah, we don't have that. Missed it.
We'll say NAIA Santos.
There you go.
JUCO
Santos.
I don't know what to think about Hill after this. Like, he obviously went through shit and got Santos out of there, which a lot of other guys haven't.
Yep.
But he also got taken down 6 times by Thiago Santos.
7, wasn't it? I think it was 7, right?
Yeah,
6 or 7, whichever one. It's not good.
It was a lot. So I mean, luckily it's not that big a deal. There's only a couple people that can grapple in this weight class, so he seems to get away with it, especially with the power he has. Yeah, I don't know what to think. At least Santos was throwing a bit. He was whipping some haze. He obviously went to the grappling a lot, but when he did get forced standing, he was actually throwing, which is much better than what it's been. He was just missing.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people were killing Santos for him grappling and shit like that, but I mean, he was throwing haze with fucking Hill for big parts of that fight. Like, it was one of the most exciting Santos fights there's been in a while. He looked decent. Like, I thought he gave Hill a really good fight. Hill needed a fight like that. I am kind of with Sean though. Like, I don't know if I think. I mean, Thiago Santos isn't no bum. Like that's a pretty tough fight, but man, you got taken down 6 or 7 times by him. You got controlled a little bit on those takedowns. He was getting hit. Like, Hill was getting popped by
I mean, he was down on a card, wasn't he?
Well, that was nuts.
That was not great.
That was stupid. But yeah, he was down he was down 2 rounds on one card, which was fucking madness. There was some really, really bad judging again Saturday night, like some crazy cards.
It was Texas.
Well, I mean, we got all finishes, but there was some cards after the fact that we saw that were just insane. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a good prospect. I mean, we see this. He's still got some power. He got Santos out there eventually. I think his like one punch power kind of got, that myth got busted a little bit. He did end up getting him out of there eventually, which was nice. I like that Hill got put in the fire a little bit. You need those kind of fights on your way up. It's not bad to get exposed in some spots either in a fight. Like, then go back and work on that shit. He can be taken down. Like, there's some big dudes in that division, man. I still like Hill, but good win. Santos put on a good fight. I don't get people like killing Santos. I've seen some people ragging on him for the takedown and shit, but thought it was a good fight. Fun Santos fight.
The most fun he's been in years.
Yep.
Since the Glover fight. But yeah, like I know we have these questions about Hill. That's probably not great because he's the number 6 light heavyweight in the world. There's still a lot of questions about him. Not a great division right now, and I think he struggles with a lot of the matchups that are above him in that division, based on what I saw on Saturday night. But Saturday night's behind us. We've got UFC Veracruz, which is a province in Mexico, if you didn't know. Yeah, little little world geography tie-in for you.
Look out.
Neither of the fighters in the main event Mexican though, so not sure how that works. Maybe if you like average out the U.S. and Ecuador, it lands in Veracruz, Mexico. Yeah, think about that.
Yeah.
That's more chemtrails for you. Anyways, we're gonna break this card down. I don't know. There's 12 fights, 13 fights, something like that. There's a lot of them. A lot of them suck. A couple of them we already broke down last week. So we're gonna try and fly through this for you guys and maybe identify a winning bet or two along the way. Kicking it off, women's bantamweight division, we have Ariane Lipski and Catch a Beating. We broke this down last week. Very quick.
Brad, the fight you're speaking of is on the main card.
Oh, fuck. I'm looking at the wrong order again.
Yes, that's right.
Why do they do this shit to me?
Versus fucking Lipski is on the main card.
All right.
More on that later, folks.
We're kicking it off in the men's bantamweight division. We've got Yusuf Zoodles taking on Damon Baba Blackshear. Sean, does he have any wool?
So is that Damon or is that Damon? I feel like it's Damon because his nickname's the Monster. I don't know if
sense.
That's.
And also,
I don't know if that's his full.
The M is capitalized, so you got to emphasize the M. Yeah.
So is his actual, like I feel like DeMonster is his full name and Damon is his nickname. Is that what we're looking at here?
What is happening right now?
There's only one monster in fucking MMA. Like, you need to retire the fucking nickname, bro.
Well, Yusuf Zalal is the COVID fraud. Beat up some just terrible fighters during COVID. Early pandemic shit. And then gave him step ups and he's obviously floundered there. I've never seen Blackshear fight. His last two losses are to pretty damn good fighters, Danny Sabatello and Pat Sabatini. I'm gonna pick the Monster. I think it's like close to even money. He's actually the underdog. Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. Zalal. I think this is gonna be a fun fight. Like I think there's gonna be lots of grappling. I think the Monster is definitely going to be on top and controlling Zalal more than the other way around.
Wes?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to think of this fight. I haven't seen a lot of the Monster. I still feel like Zalal is probably better on the feet here. But if this does hit the mat, it looks like Blackshear's got a lot of subs against okay competition. Sean is right. His last couple losses, he lost to a couple really good dudes. I saw some highlights of the Sabatello fight, and Sabatello just does what Sabatello does, which isn't bad. But I don't think Blackshear's got to worry about that in this fight. I think Zalal wants to keep this up, wants to kickbox. I think if Zalal can be in a kickboxing match, I think he's got a shot to win this fight. If he does get taken down, we've seen him lay on his back quite a bit in some of his fights. If he does get taken down, I think Blackshear can absolutely control. And I think it would be a bad bet to take some Blackshear by sub if you do like him in this spot, because if he does win this fight, I think it's him on the mat on top of Zalal, and he obviously goes for submission. So that might not be a bad bet to look at if you like Blackshear in this spot. I'm excited. I'm going to pick Zalal. I think he's got a lot of really good experience. He did get step ups, like Sean said. It was step ups against really good fucking guys. So I still think he's okay. I'm not sure about Blackshear at this point. Zalal would be the pick, but coin flip fight.
Yeah, I like Blackshear here. Zalal, as Sean said, COVID fraud. You know, you're right that the first step up that he took was a big one in Tapuria, and I think people are kind of holding on to one or two moments that he had in that fight, but mostly he got dominated in the grappling. And then kind of even grappling with Choi and Woodson. So I think now he's dropping down a weight class. He's facing a guy who wants to grapple. This is going to turn into a grappling match. And I think the weight cut might not be great for him here. He wasn't like a tiny 45er, and I think this one is down. Yeah, this one is down at 135. So I think he might tire out a little bit. And you can see that Blackshear is aggressive late into fights and will keep going for stuff. I kind of think that Blackshear late is live. Blackshear sub is live. So I'm looking at those two, but I may actually want to watch some more of him, do some video, if you will. Yeah. If I'm gonna bet this, if I'm not planning on betting it, we'll just skip on to the next one, which is also a rebooking from last week. Jason Witt, Josh Quinlan, middleweight division, catchweight, something or other. I don't know. I think last time it was supposed to be welterweight. This time it's. Do we even know?
Some extra picos.
Yeah, it's 180.
Some extra picos inside of Quinlan. Yep. Needs those extra pounds, baby. Love
it, Sean.
Yeah, I was throwing a dart last time on Witt. I am not doing that now. Back-to-back weight cuts. I know it's only to 180 this time, but he's still going to cut some weight, and that's definitely not good to an already brittle fucking chin. I think there's a very high likelihood that Quinlan takes him out and takes him out early. So I am not betting it. If I were to play something, it would be probably Quinlan round 1.
Wesley?
Yeah, I like Quinlan last time. I like him again this time. I think he gets Witt out of there. I think him inside the distance is still like around minus 130, 135. That's just probably how I'll play it. Safe, take the inside. It's not a bad price.
Yeah, last time I took some Quinlan round 1 TKO. I found plus 335 out there, which is kind of the only reason that I took it. If that line doesn't pop up, I'd probably stay away from this one. Pick as Quinlan. I think he gets him out of there, but not super confident in it. Flyweight division, we've got O'Day, Black Sabbath, Osbourne, Sharon, taking on Tyson Nam. Should be fun. Sean?
Yeah, it should be. Both these guys, I think, are gonna throw some hammers, and I kind of trust Osbourne more to last in there. I've been looking to fade Tyson Nam quite a bit since he's been in the UFC, and the price really hasn't been there in a couple different spots, but I know Osbourne is a big favorite. I do think Osbourne's offense is a lot better. He's got caught a couple times in the UFC. I just don't think Nam is the one to do it, and I'll be curious to see if Nam can take the offense from Osbourne. So I threw a unit on Osbourne inside at plus 115.
Wes?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like Tyson Nam here. I know he's getting a little old. I know O'Day's looked good recently. His offense is very good. I think Sean's right. They're going to throw down in here, and I'm not so sure that Nam ain't got the better chin here. To be honest, I mean, he hasn't been like knocked out in almost a decade. The last dude to knock him out was fucking World Series of Fighting fucking Mountain Yam Central Marlon Moraes. That's the last dude to knock out Tyson Nam. I don't think O'Day Osbourne's going to be knocking him out. Does it get into a scramble and Osbourne gets a sub on him or something? I mean, maybe. I think they're throwing down on the feet, and I think Osbourne's more length, might have a little bit more output. You're probably going to be worrying about that regard, him just getting off more shots, but I think Tyson Nam's going to throw down. I think he can catch O'Day. So I like him at this price. I mean, he's upwards to almost plus 250 in this spot in a fight that I think's going to be kind of close on the feet. Give me some Tyson Nam here.
Yeah, I'm with Wes on this one. Tyson Nam is old. He's very old for a flyweight. But you look at the level of guys that these two have fought, and they've both melted the exact same level of competition in the UFC. Except Tyson Nam, he's stepped up and fought a lot better competition throughout his career and done pretty well in a lot of those fights. Like I don't remember a lot of blowout Tyson Nam losses. He's always in a fight. Whereas I think that Osbourne, as we've seen a couple times, can find ways to lose fights. He can either just get melted by something big, and Tyson Nam isn't Manel Kopp or anything like that. But Tyson Nam does have power. He's knocked out 135ers throughout his career, and I don't think it would be a shock to see him knock out Osbourne here. So I'll probably take some of that money line. And I'm kind of considering the Nam inside, actually more TKO for Nam. I think this one is one where you can be safe just going TKO and not worrying about the sub that's never going to come. But I like Tyson Nam in this one. Next up, we are in the lightweight division. Gabriel Benítez taking on Charlie Antojitos, one of the most delicious appetizers in the UFC. Sean.
Antojitos has a wild stat line in his last fight. He landed 7 strikes, got 2 knockdowns, but got finished a minute 51 into the second round by Steve Garcia. That is a fucking journey of a fight right there. He is not good. I know Mowgli hasn't looked amazing lately. I just think he's a lot better than Antojitos. So I'll pick Gabriel Benítez. I don't really want to bet him. I'm not going to trust him that much.
Wes?
You're muted, Wes.
You're on mute.
This dude, like, he fought like Kevin Holland the fight before that to like 185, and then came back.
That was mean.
Had that just dumb fight with Steve Garcia. That shit was nuts. He's terrible though, man. He's like really bad. I mean, Benítez has been in there with just like some crazy tough competition the past few fights. I think he puts a pace on this guy and gets him out of there, man. His inside the distance is fucking maybe like $1 cheaper than his money line, a little over $1 cheaper than his money line, which is crazy. I kind of like him. The price is like kind of wide. I haven't bet him. It might be just too steep at this point to put any kind of money on him, but I still think it's he's going to work this guy. You're going to look at this one and be like, man, that was short. I think Benítez fucks this dude up.
I'm not going to overthink this one, which is why I'm going with Charlie Antojitos in round 1, plus 900. It's his only way to win.
That's his path to victory. So if you're going to piss money, then you might as well do it there. Yeah.
He's old. He's chinny as fuck. He always gets rocked in his fights. I mean,
this guy's really bad.
If the Antojitos is going to do it, it's going to be right away. Just like he always does. So I think that happens. To use the old tout parlay, I think that happens at least more than 1 out of 9 times, or 1 out of 10 times, I suppose, in this case. So I'm taking some Antojitos round 1, and I will live with the consequences. Next up, oh god, I hit the back button. They fucked up the order on Tapology, and I'm not using Wikipedia. Ugh.
It's a beautiful lady.
Are we on Calvillo and Nunes?
Yep.
That doesn't seem tremendously fun. Sean, go ahead.
No, but these people are more well known than the latest third from the top on this card. But
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah,
Don't
we'll
worry.
get there.
I know you're excited about that one.
I'm very excited. Nunes got caught last time. She got, taken down, subbed by a girl that's very, very good at grappling. She showed some decent durability against Suarez and some good cardio, even getting grappled like that. If Calvillo's smart, she'll grapple. I don't think she's smart, and she's not going to grapple, and Nunes can probably out-volume her on the feet. If she does grapple, I think Nunes is decent enough on the ground. She'll make Calvillo work, and then she's going to get tired. I like Nunes to kind of just out-volume her. It's probably going to be a very bad fight, but I got a unit on Nunes at plus 145.
Wes?
Yeah, crazily, I gotta agree here. I'm gonna be on a women's fight here as well. Besides the grappling, I think even on the feet, we've seen Calvillo get put on the cage a lot lately too, and just held there and worked over. Nunes does that really well. The volume on the feet, the cardio. I think it's a good dog spot for her. She's had some tough couple fights, but I mean, look at who she fought. Before then, she was working over decent competition. I just don't think much of Calvillo anymore, man. I don't know where her head's really at in this game. She's looked fucking worse and worse by the fight, not better. Nunes as a dog here, it's really nice. I kind of like her by decision too. That's sitting around at plus 250 in some spots. So I'm going to split on money line and by decision, plus 140, plus 250.
Don't hate what you're putting down there. I agree on Nunes. This is not the consensus bet of the week, but we might all end up with a bet on this fight. And if you're going to bet a women's fight, especially a low-level women's fight, you got to take the dog. I like Nunes here as well. I think maybe Calvillo can have a little bit of wrestling success early if she actually goes for it, which isn't a guarantee. But she's going to tire. And lest we forget, Quit on the stool in her last fight.
Quit versus Quit. That's a tough matchup.
Yeah. Which one prevails, actual Quit or Mom Quit? We shall see. I'm probably going to take Nunes plus 165 at Mason's right now. That's a good number, and I know Wes likes the decision. I'm going to count on the actual Quit coming back, and I might throw a little sprinkle on Nunes round 3 at plus 2400 because could see it. She usually has good third rounds. They're at that new camp now where they've got all the fancy drugs. Amanda looked pretty great physically a couple weeks ago, so I'm sure Nina's going to be stroganoff to the gills, and we'll see. Heavyweights, I don't even know. We're not at the main card yet. Fuck. Holy shit. All right, we're going to speed this up. Martin Buday and Lukasz Brzeski. Sean?
I don't have much here. Number seems a bit wide. It is kind of shittier heavyweights. Buday might have something. I don't know. Brzeski at this point. So I guess I'll pick Buday. But yeah, that's kind of wide for shitty low-level heavyweights at this point.
Wes?
Yeah, I don't have a lot on the side here. I do like Buday, but I think that line's pretty wide at this point. I don't know enough about this Lukasz dude. I will say these are some sloppy, shitty fucking guys, and you know what happens when we got two fat, sloppy, shitty guys. It's juice, but I think 1.5 is probably a really good parlay piece at that number. These dudes are getting sloppy. This might go 15 minutes. So I like the over 1.5 for a parlay piece at like it's minus 175 at Mason Book. Little too juicy to maybe play straight, so really good parlay piece.
Yeah, the plus 200 goes to decision. I don't hate that as well. I guess Buday should win. I think he's all right. Just for the purposes of trying to make up ground in Toutmaster, I'll probably pick the other guy and hope for some weird heavyweight shit. But yeah, I have virtually zero interest in this fight. It is not great. Next up, we just keep the bangers coming. Another catchweight fight. Angela Hill taking on loopy Mexican-Canadian Godinez. Sean?
Which Godinez is showing up, the Canadian or the Mexican? That is always the tough thing to figure out before her fights.
It's in San Diego, so it's very close to the border, the Mexican border. So yep. I would have to lean towards Mexican Godinez.
Then I think Hill's probably going to get out-grappled, and it's going to be a boring decision. I think Godinez is going to lay on her. The number is wide for a ladies Canadian who's kind of got overhyped and fell against not an amazing fighter. So it's pretty wild. I will still take the Canadian to win a boring decision. Let these guys catch up to me in Toutmaster when the dog hits.
Tremendous. Wes?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just getting a little out of hand, man. Like, Lupe has looked okay the past two fights. Let's not forget she lost to Luna Carolina like 8 months ago, and fucking Jessica Panay like a year ago. Like, those are horrible losses, and like Angela Hill couldn't take a couple rounds here. I mean, she absolutely could. Like, this line's just crazy. Now, does Lupe probably get some takedowns and lay on top over and win a shitty decision? Probably, but man, at this kind of price, like, Hill by decision is almost plus 400 at one spot. Like, that's dumb. This is loopy fucking Gonzalez. She lost to Jessica Panay a fucking year ago, bro. Plus 400. I'll take a little of that. Like, Angela Hill probably loses a shitty decision, but at around plus 350 in most spots, I'll take a little Angela Hill to see if I can sneak a couple rounds here in what's going to be a really close, shitty fight.
Yeah, this is silly. Angela Hill by decision, like Wes said. Angela Hill at DraftKings, split decision, plus 1,200. I mean, if you don't play that in this fight,
those are Brad's new spots, and they're great value bets, man.
Gold.
Yeah.
Absolute gold. I mean, these judges don't know what they're looking at. Nobody knows what they're looking at or scoring anymore. Somebody's going to get it wrong. So it's tremendous stuff. All right. Middleweight division. I think we're on the main card now. Bruno Silva taking on the Meerkat. Sean, break me the bad news.
If you would like to put money down on Meerschaert, do not waste money putting it on his money line. Him inside the distance, plus 400, that's the way you play it. Meerschaert is not winning a decision. He never wins decision. I don't care if he has won a decision. He doesn't win them. I think Silva's got good enough hands that he's going to clip that chin. Even if he doesn't right away, I still can trust Silva. I think he's got decent enough grappling to not get taken down and get up if by chance he does get taken down. I think Silva's just the better fighter, and the Meerkat's chin is degrading at a sad rate. So I got Silva in a 2-unit parlay and a 1-unit parlay.
Wes?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say it too much better than what Sean did, sadly, for somebody else on the show, I believe. But I think Bruno's on the feet. Like, if this stays up, he's knocking Meerkat out. It's going to be ugly. I think Sean's right, too. Like, if you bet Meerkat here, it's inside. He gets into a scramble on the mat. He pulls something off. Like, that's his way to win here. I don't know if Bruno Silva is that outmatched on the mat to Meerkat here, and most of the time when Bruno Silva goes to the mat, he's on top of some guys laying some hammers down. I think Meerschart's going to end up getting beat up here, man. It's not been good for him lately. Big, strong fucking dude, and Bruno Silva. I like him here. I got him in a parlay, a big parlay with somebody else later on the card, and I think he gets Meerschart out of there. I think it's going to be pretty ugly for the old Meerschart.
I don't know if Lance agrees with this. I don't know if he cares. But I have
Here we go.
3 words. 3 words for this fight. It's the Erdmanchen pur Einsendung. All right, that translates. My people from Munich know that means Meerschart via submission. All right, plus 600. Don't worry about this inside the distance garbage that Sean's trying to sell ya. Alex Pereira couldn't knock this dude out in the last fight. If Meerschart's winning, Meerschart is subbing this fella. That's the only way he can do it. So the Erdmanchen per Einsendung. All right? That's what it is. Play it. Book it. It's over.
Is that Munich?
Munich.
Of course.
Are we going straight sub for Munich?
After he gives us that fucking shit, that's definitely Munich.
Are you going full sub plus 600 Munich?
Yeah, absolutely.
There it is. All right. I just need to know what to write down.
Love it. Women's bantamweight division. This is the rebooking that was originally first, and now it's on the main card, and nobody cares. Lipski and catch a beating. Just a pick. We broke it down last week.
The dog.
Dog for me. I bet it too. I bet it last
level
time.
Shit.
I'm gonna bet it this time.
Dog.
My bets from last week never got canceled. Catch a beating, plus 150, which is way worse than what's out there now. So, go for it.
Yeah.
Light heavyweight division. Devin Clark, Murzakanov. Sean?
That is a legit perfect name for this dude because, man, he pulled a rabbit last time out. And Chukwi was easily winning that fight. And he got caught. Shit happens. These are big boys. Shit can happen. I just don't think he's that good. If he pulls that shit out on Devin Clark, I mean, it's possible. Like, Devin Clark seems like one of those guys that would get caught with a flying knee or some shit like that. But I think Devin Clark can grapple this guy and wear him out and tire him out. And I don't know if he gets a finish because it's Devin Clark, but I think he's got a decent shot here. So I got Clark by decision. I just took him straight, plus 150 for a unit. I think he's a decent side here.
Wes?
Yeah, I mean, we saw kind of, I think what we needed to see in the last fight with the old fraud here. I think Devin Clark's even got another path with his grappling and his cage control. Can Devin Clark get flying knee KO like the old Teflon? Absolutely he can, but I think he's the way better guy here all around. Dog money. I think you got to take a shot.
Yeah, I like Devin Clark here. I was on Teflon in the last one. I can't remember what the number was. It was somewhere around the same as what it is now. I was on Teflon by decision there. And I'm going to be on Clark and Clark by decision here. I think Clark decision 300 in this spot is kind of long. But I'm also just going to take the money line plus 145. I already grabbed. I know that's kind of disappearing. So if you don't want to play Clark plus 130 or lower, I don't think the decision is a bad play either, because I think we saw that this Russian probably has the ability to survive. And yes, as you guys said, he can absolutely melt Clark. But I feel better about Clark's durability at 205 than I ever did at 185. So he'll eat some shots and he'll probably have a couple dicey moments. He's like the Kmart Brunson. Gets rocked by worse shit, Doesn't have as good wrestling, doesn't have as good athleticism, but he finds a way to get the job done. So Devin Clark is going to be the consensus bet of the week?
I guess so. That's
yep.
what we're dealing with here.
That is where we're at in the UFC in the year of our Lord 2020, folks. Couple fights to go here. This one, the battle for Aladdin's heart. We've got Yasmin versus Yasmin. Couple of Princess Yasmins here. I don't know. Maybe they could get Christos Yago instead of Aladdin. But we'll see. Do we have absolutely anything on this one, Sean?
No. I'm actually not going to pick the favorite, or I'm not going to pick the dog in this one. I think the favorite's going to grapple the other one.
I don't know which one the favorite is, but Wes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I've seen the favorite once or twice, but I absolutely can't remember the fights. But it looks like should be the fave. She's fighting a total bum. I got nothing on this fight. I don't. What are we doing?
Why? Why is this fight on this card, and why is it third from the top? What are we doing here?
Is she like popular or something out in California? I know she fought on Combat or whatever. Like, is she
Combat Global? Combat Global?
Yeah, is she like? I don't know if she's popular out in California or something, but she's third from the top. What are we doing? The other chick is like a bum from nowhere. I don't know who the fuck she is. I don't know what we're doing here, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, 2 debuting fighters with no hype behind them are third from the top on a UFC card in the
that's
arena.
The right order.
Not in Vegas.
That's the right order.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All I know is that I'd rather watch Yasmin Bleeth against Jasmine Sinclair.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh.
Yasmin before all the fucking coke bloat, you know.
Maybe even after. I don't know.
Maybe during. No, after. No.
I have no idea what the fuck we're doing here. Moving on, co-main events. David Obama, the first son he's bitter because he was never acknowledged by the White House, and he's taking on Nate the Train Landwehr. Sean?
I think Onama's actually pretty decent. I know in his first UFC fight, getting kind of taken down a shit ton of times by Mason Jones. Mason Jones has some skills. He's got some flaws, but he's got some skills. Nate Landwehr, I know he beat Klein last time out. He looked good, but the Herbert Burns and the Arosa fight are just stamped in my brain because I'm pretty sure I bet Landwehr in both of those, and I was like, what am I doing with my life? I think Onama can take to the ground if he wants. I think he's probably a little bit better on the feet. I think he kind of wins this wherever it goes. So I got him in a 1-unit parlay with Silva plus 103.
Wes?
Yeah, I like him here as well. I did have some Landwehr as a nice dog against Klein last time out. Probably the performance of his career, but I think that was a good matchup for him, though. Like a kind of slower, plodding guy and stuff, to where Oyama's he's not that kind of guy. I think Landwehr's going to walk into some fire in this one. Landwehr's pretty aggressive, wants to come in. I think he's going to get caught with some stuff in this one. Kind of like Oyama by TKO. I think he can get a finish later in this fight, but I just have him in a small parlay with Benítez. Nothing big, but I think he gets Landwehr out of there. Sean's right. Like, let's not forget the Julian Arosa fight right before the Klein fight, because that's bad stuff. But yeah, Oyama for me, nothing big. Landwehr's still sneaky, man. He's sneaky, little tough, dumb fucking guy. And you got to watch out for those dudes.
I think Landwehr was perfectly suited to looking really good in Russia against a bunch of grapplers who only wanted to grapple him and didn't really have any power. And then when he started facing guys who can hit a little bit, he started to get knocked out a little bit. He loves to eat chins right up the middle. That is his favorite thing. Every meal, doesn't matter. And I think Onama can land something like that. But I think this is probably a spot where you're better to take the inside than just the TKO, because we saw in his last fight that Onama does have a little bit of a sub game too. We know from his career that Landwehr can be taken down and controlled, and needs to survive that and hope somebody gasses and come back and beat them. So I think Onama can finish this either by landing something on the feet early, or even by getting some takedowns of his own and probably working for a sub. So I don't hate Onama sub plus 600. I haven't bet it yet. I think at plus money, any sort of plus money, is probably a little bit better. Main event, bantamweight division. Marlon Vera, Dominic Cruz, UFC San Diego, Vera Cruz. Yep. Sean, go for it.
Finally a good fight. It only took how fucking long. This should be fun regardless. Chito Vera's a very fun fighter. Obviously, sometimes he fucks around too much and doesn't throw enough. That's kind of just who he is. He's got some nasty leg kicks. I know Dominic Cruz has been able to withstand some leg kicks from Munoz last time and Kenny, but I wouldn't take too many from Vera. And over 5 rounds, I think that's going to add up. It's going to slow down Cruz. Cruz is 36. He's a very, very old 36. He's taken some punches, and body is just tape and bubble gum with sticks. Like, it's not good. Vera's got big power. I know there's some concern about him just kind of getting out-volumed and not landing the big strikes, but Cruz is a lot more hittable than he used to be. That footwork shit worked pretty good, 5-8 years ago. It's not as effective now against the elite of the elite. Cruz's chin, which has always been kind of granite, is starting to degrade. He's got dropped a bunch of times in the last couple fights. I think Vera can land that. 25 minutes is a long time. Vera's got the huge power difference. I like Vera here. I got him in a 2-unit parlay with Silva at plus 109, and then I took a half unit on him inside the distance. I think he can get Cruz out of there.
Wesley.
Yeah, the main thing for me in this fight is 25 minutes. I don't see Cruz going 25 minutes with Marlon Vera, man. Sean hit chin starting to get shaky. That fucking dumb movement shit doesn't work anymore in this sport, especially with the leg kicks and the calf kicks they use. Like them or not, Vera's going to land calf kicks on Dom Cruz. Dom Cruz started slowing bad in the third against Casey fucking Kinney, man. Like, that cardio's not as good. I just think over 25 minutes, man, I don't think he can stay in there with Vera. I think Vera is eventually probably going to clip Dom Cruz in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round. I like Vera quite a bit here, man. I got him with Silva in a big parlay. It's probably my biggest bet. Going to be my biggest bet on the card. I'm on both sides, I think, of our boy here. I just think Dom's getting old, man. 36, 37 years old in this division. Just so many injuries, so many fights. Chin shaky now, been dropped. Eats leg kicks, which is going to cost him in this fight. 25 minutes. just a younger, hungrier guy, 29 years old. I like Vera a lot in this spot. I just think it's not a good fight for Dom Cruz.
Why are we wrong, Brad?
It is not a good fight for Dom Cruz. It is a great fight for Dominick Cruz. Anybody who has wanted to take down Marlon Vera has been able to take down Marlon Vera. Anybody who wants to control Marlon Vera has been able to control Marlon Vera. Anybody who wants to just stick around on the feet with Marlon Vera and outpoint Marlon Vera has been able to do that as well. So basically what you're telling me is that I've got 2-1 on a guy who will win this fight wherever this goes if he doesn't get knocked out.
No.
And it's a guy who's been knocked out once in his career by Henry Cejudo.
He's been dropped in his last 3 fights, Brad.
He has been dropped 1 time in his last 2 fights. Once in the last 2 years. He's been dropped 4 times in the last 6 years. So
also known as his last 3 fights because he's so brittle.
4 fights. Let's not get crazy. But yeah, I mean, Cody Garbrandt putting on the performance of a lifetime and Henry Cejudo dropping you and hurting you. That's not bad. Like, those guys are a long way from Marlon Vera. Although Vera would probably beat Garbrandt tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
But Cejudo would come in off the couch and fucking whoop Vera's ass tomorrow. So, I mean, let's not get too crazy here. And then a good performance against Casey Kenny. Yes, he got a little bit tired towards the end of that one. Vera's not going to push the pace that Casey Kenny pushed. I know that Vera has good cardio, but he doesn't force that on other people. And then he got dropped against Munoz. And Munoz, I think, is kind of a similar matchup for him to Marlon Vera. I think that he's going to be able to neutralize a lot of Vera's leg kicks with his movement. Frankie Edgar was able to do that and look good against Vera until he got, monkey NFT'd. And it's quite possible that Cruz gets monkey NFT'd in this one. That's what Vera needs to happen to win because he doesn't win rounds. So I took some Cruz decision plus 280. I'm probably going to take some Cruz decision only at plus 150 because I think if this goes to the cards, those assholes are going to be puckered if you guys have Vera bets because unless he knocks Cruz down in 3 rounds, he's probably going to look like he's losing those rounds. So I like Cruz here. He's old, he's busted, but I still think he's got a good chance to win.
You say he can't win rounds. He got outstruck number-wise by Font almost 2-1, and he won 49-46 on 2 cards.
If I get the
because he dropped him in like every round.
If I get those, might happen on Saturday.
If I get those kind of strikes on Dom Cruz, he's going down. He's going down.
Cruz isn't going to stand in front of him like Font did.
I mean, Cruz ain't got this crazy movement like everybody thinks now, too. Like
next level. It's next level.
He's slow. Font's had some decent footwork over his career, too, and he got his shit lit up. It's going to be good.
It'll be a fun one.
We'll see. It's good fight. It's a good fight.
We'll see.
Brad likes to side with the guys that he grew up watching MMA on.
Yeah, exactly. That was like 40 years ago that I grew up watching Dom Cruz get guillotined by Faber.
You
know what they should do? They should make a promotion that has all of these like lighter weight classes, and they only do fights with the lighter weight classes. I think that could be like a really good idea, and they'd be really successful if they did that. Yeah. It'd be fun to watch.
Those are the best weight classes. It's not gonna happen.
Anyway, there's some other stuff going on. PFL playoffs are happening. I don't know what weight classes. There's a Bellator card that's somehow even worse than this UFC card.
Both of those cards are like really bad. Pat Downey's making his debut on Bellator card though. That should be fun.
Yeah, that's the
There
one
you
thing.
go.
Minus 1,200, minus 1,400. Good stuff.
Pat Downey's like homeless Bo Nickal. For those of you who don't know who Pat Downey is, it's probably
insane
the
homeless Bo Nickal.
Well, yeah, that's probably why he's homeless.
Fair.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I think if you combined all three of these cards, so what you should do is PVR all of them, or in Canada we get the Bellator on YouTube, and if you just combine all three, you might get one card's worth of good MMA out of this weekend. So to do that, and then what do we have coming up after this? Are we done this little like
UFC 278 Usman versus Edwards, Harry Hunsucker on a fucking pay-per-view?
No way. Are you serious? There's no way.
Okay, how are they going to do this to Aldo? They have one of the all-time greatest fighters in MMA history, and they put Harry Hunsucker on the pay-per-view with him. What kind of disrespect is this?
Paulo Costa gonna just like kill Luke Rockhold and take him back, make him a gimp, put him like in a leather suit, like some Pulp Fiction shit. That fucking weirdo.
I hope Rockhold wins because
I do too.
I think that Rockhold kicks the shit out of Izzy.
No, he gets clipped by Izzy and knocked the fuck out.
He destroys Izzy. He murders.
If he grapples, if he's fucking smart and grapples, he's got a chance.
He's just gonna take thin Izzy over his knee and spank him, and then flip him over and just snap him in half. That would be what a Luke Rockhold Izzy.
He might not have to worry about Izzy. He might have to worry about Pereira.
Yeah, that's a bad fight for him. He doesn't want that fight.
Sorry, we got AJ Usyk the same night. Hopefully that boring ass fucking Leon and Usman fights fucking over by the time they make the walk. I doubt it.
Aren't they fighting in Saudi Arabia? Isn't that going to be?
Oh yeah, that's going to be a daytime card.
It's going to be afternoon.
Yep.
You're going to have all the fun in the afternoon, and then have to torture yourself.
Then have to watch
UFC
this bullshit. Man, we get some good fights on there.
I think I'm going to bet on TBD in the main event. I don't know who's been fighting yet, but I think I might bet him. Yeah.
The guy that almost got fucking knocked out by Nate never fights Nate. Man, it's a tough bet. It's a tough bet.
Yep. People forget who Usman is.
Leonardo Santos is a big underdog.
Is he fighting on that?
He is a big underdog to Jared Gordon, folks.
Damn, Santos is back, man. Didn't he?
He lost to Guida, beat the fuck out of Guida, and then he gassed, and Guida beat him.
Oh, that's right.
But he's plus 260 to Jared Gordon.
What? No, that's a bet.
Well, you know what? People are putting the money down because they're like, well, Leo Santos can't fight twice within the same calendar year.
They're praying for a withdrawal.
Yeah, so I don't know what the logic is behind that, but for some reason they think the fight's not going to happen.
This Jared Gordon fella is out beating up randoms on the street and shit with his mom. Like, there's no way he's fighting Santos at this point.
That is wild. That's going to be... Well, I'm going to lose some money on Leo Santos.
Yep, me too, probably.
Quite possible. I mean, you can just hedge with Gordon round 2 or round 3, and you'll probably be good.
Yep.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this week. We kept it mostly shorter. You could probably not listen to these last 10 minutes or so and be absolutely fine. But if you got here, we appreciate you. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week for a pretty, it's a weird and there's bad stuff on the main card, but it's not a bad pay-per-view. I kind of like some of the
three
stuff
solid
that's on
pay-per-view fights.
Yeah. So we'll see you next week, and enjoy whatever you choose to watch or not watch this weekend.